Hey, what's up, Saturday Nation? Sam Crowley. Hope you're having an amazing day. Every Friday, I try to just do a random download, nothing in particular, just a little bit about everything to help keep you motivated, inspired to keep going towards your dream. Let me fix the camera just a little bit. It's Friday, March 8th. And if you listen to today's podcast, I just uploaded it. It's the same thing, motivational, random download, but mainly targeted around this thing I've been posting about the past couple days, talking about this prison that everybody lives in. And it's the prison of other people's opinions. And by the way, if you're interested in working together one-on-one, don't wait. Go to launchwithsam.com, book your power call, and let's get this thing going. Quit worrying about what other people think. You're gonna die a lonely existence living in that prison that most people live in, worried about other people's opinions. And look, I've been guilty of it as well. It takes a lot of work on your mindset to get to that point. But here's the thing. A lot of the questions come around of, especially people that want to launch a movement and get something going, will it work? What if it doesn't work? What are other people going to think about me? When do I quit my job? When you're in your head, you're dead, okay? But when you're in your heart, you're in a pretty good spot. Your heart always has the right answers, in my opinion. I think your mind is so incredibly powerful that your mind can do amazing things. It's a supercomputer. There's 18 billion cells firing all the time up here, the brain. But then sometimes it can also sabotage your success because you start making up narratives that don't even exist, What's so-and-so going to think? They're going to laugh at me, or I know somebody and this didn't work for them, and things like that. And your mind starts creating these stories that don't even exist, most likely are never going to happen. Yet we continue to feed that narrative because we're full of worry and we're full of self-doubt. And, we were never born that way. That's not from God. God doesn't give us worry, self-doubt, fear, all of that stuff. I think we're only born with two real fears, and that's the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. You could put a king cobra in a crib with a baby and the baby will try to play with it. It's not afraid of the snake. You know what I mean? So we develop these fears based on narratives that have been fed to us all throughout our life. And then we start making up stories to try to make that true. You know what I mean? It's like we believe that we're not going to have success, or somebody's, opinion about us isn't that high. So therefore, they're going to mock us and make fun of us and things like that. And we end up living in this prison, and it's a self-built prison. Like, the walls are so high and they're so thick and you could never even tunnel underneath them. That's the prison that most of us build around our dream. Like, the dream is on the other side of that wall, and it's success, and it's so incredibly powerful out there. It's absolute freedom, but we can't tunnel underneath that wall. We can't jump over that wall. We can't escape because we're created it right up here. And we've done such a great job of feeding that story that, man, we are like, it would take everything we have to muster up the energy to go do it. But I'll tell you what, when you do it, this is why I always talk about momentum, vision, action, results, belief. Because when you have the vision, that's one thing. You got the vision to get out of this prison that you've got, So I think rather than saying random download Friday, we're probably going to talk about this mental prison that we've created. I did the same thing, man. I did the same thing. I'm guilty with both hands. I built this prison around my mind, and I thought a job was the only way I could go. I was just lucky to have a job, and I was. I don't want to minimize that. I was lucky to have a job. I was very lucky to be making a six-figure salary. But then I said, okay, at some point, I've got to believe I'm even better than this. Like, can you imagine the audacity of starting at the bottom, working your way up through telephone sales, outside sales, running an organization, and having the audacity to think you could actually want more, and you should have more. Like, not even want, like you should want more, and then you should have more. So you can do what? So you can do more. You can help more people, and live a life of significance. Imagine living an entire life and looking back and thinking, none of it really mattered. And so you try to justify, I spent 30 years in a job, 40 years in a job. It mattered. I helped a lot of people, and maybe you did. But did you really live out your purpose? Or did you live out what other people wanted you to do? Did you really go after it? Like, you used every fiber in your being to get that dream lived, to get that purpose-driven life out there? Or did you just go with the flow? Did you just do what other people told you to do? Because it's amazing that, I see this a lot in raising kids. If you tell your kids they can do anything, they believe they can do anything. And until somebody else, another kid in their group or something like that says, what are you doing here? Do they meet with any resistance? Like if my dad tells me that I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. That's why I tell my daughters all the time, you're beautiful. I don't want them to go seeking approval from the world. I don't want my daughters going out into the world wondering, their value is going to be based on the opinion of other people. I know, I'm not an idiot. I'm not naive. I know they're going to go off possibly to college or go into the workforce and things like that. And they're doing that with resistance, but I want them to have a strong foundation. That's foundation I never had. I had to drum up this whole thing myself. Like, Sam, you can do it, man. You're smart. You're a go-getter. You're a great speaker. I had to tell all of these things to myself because I had nobody telling me that, So I'm telling you that right now, regardless of what age you are, 25, 35, 55, 75, it doesn't matter. There's still time to dial into your purpose, forget about other people's opinions, and get out of that prison. Because that prison is a life sentence, okay? And you only get one. I'm telling you, man. Look I mentioned it on the podcast today. Alex Trebek, the Jeopardy guy, a guy who didn't grow up with this guy in the 80s, has pancreatic cancer. Now, that's a tough diagnosis, man. I'm not saying he's not going to beat that thing, but there's a 95% chance he ain't going to. And it ain't going to be pretty, and it's going to end pretty darn quick. Okay, that's the reality of it. Now, maybe he's one of the 5% where it's not going to work out. Well, we would all pray for that. Hopefully it doesn't work out that way. But imagine having that sentence given to you, like you've got pancreatic cancer. Let's just say you got 90 days to live. Let's just say that's what somebody says to you. You're going to live a hell of a lot differently in those 90 days than you lived the previous 60 years or 50 years or 30 years. But yet we don't live that way. We don't. We'll go about today. It's Friday, March 8th. And we're going to go about this Friday, whatever our routine is. It's the first Friday in Lent. So maybe you Catholics out there, good like I did growing up, go out with your family, get the old fish fry and at your local church, or maybe go grab a beer. Maybe you hunker down and watch a movie on Netflix. None of those are bad ideas, especially if it involves spending time with family. But if this Friday looks exactly like the previous 51 Fridays from the past year, you got to change it up. And if tomorrow on Saturday looks exactly like every Saturday, maybe you wake up, you do your routine, maybe you go for a walk and you hang out and you don't really do it. Maybe it's time you shook it up a little bit. Maybe it's time that you focused on the next 90 days of your life and try to live them differently than you've been living the previous months and years of your life. Because here's what you're going to find. And this is what everybody finds. That change is pretty simple. Everybody associates change with being difficult. It's hard. I don't like it. It's clunky. I got my routine. I get it. There's a place for routine. But life wasn't meant to be a routine. Life to me is like a ship that's been built perfectly to sail out in the seas. Yet what we do is we leave it in the harbor and we just let it float there. And it was never meant to just sit in the harbor. It was meant to go out and crash against those waves of adversity and have those tough winds blowing against it so you can navigate those seas. And I think what people realize is that that boat's been sitting in the harbor for a long time. Those same relationships you've had for a long time, that same job, that same business, that same car, the same routine you do, it's probably time to shake up the routine. I don't know what that looks like in your life. I know for me, that was pulling the ripcord on a job and just going for my dream. And yeah, sure, of course people's opinions are going to come at you, but they're going to come at you anyway. How would you like to be remembered? Being average? You worked 40 years in a job. You gave everything you got. Good guy, good girl, great employee. I would never want to be called a great employee, ever. I mean, it's a compliment, but that word employee, man, I just would never want that to be what I was remembered for. I just can't have that happen in my life. And thank you, God, for the past 12 or 13 years, whatever it is. I don't even know anymore. I haven't had to cash a check from the man. Because look at a cat crawling in the bed. You guys see my cat back there, a couple of them. Right over there. I would never want to be called just a great employee. That would be an insult. You know what I mean? So here's my challenge to you. All right, get out of the prison. Get out of the mental prison that's built on other people's opinions, and get out of the mental prison that you care what other people think. I'm not saying that you got to be disrespectful. I'm not even saying you got to go find, a fight with somebody somewhere. But I'm saying this, that you can't focus on going forward towards your dream and looking behind what other people are saying about you at the same time. It's impossible. You can't do it. It's impossible. I've tried. How do I know I've tried? You know, every time that I've had success or I've watched other people that have had really success, and I define success as a purpose-driven life, like you are dialing into what it is that you really want to do. The only time I see people that are really doing that are the ones that continue to look forward, move forward, and don't give any energy to what just happened in their rearview mirror. They're not tripping over their past. They're continuing to move forward. They give energy, you know, to the failures. They learn. You don't lose. You only win or you learn. There's only two options there, but they're not caught up in what other people think about them. They're just not. Those are the people. That's how, when I say success leaves clues, that's what I mean. Success leaves clues. The individuals that I know, men and women, who are uber successful, whatever that means to you and whatever that means to them. Success means freedom to me. They are not giving energy to the opinions of others. All right. They are not building, they're not living in a prison. They're out enjoying life because they live under that I got 90 days to live mindset. And if you lived under that for the next 90 days, wow, what is it, March 8th, June 8th? You wouldn't even recognize yourself. You wouldn't even recognize who you are. Like you'd look back and say, holy cow, wow, that's pretty. I mean, I don't even know what that would look like for you. I mean, why don't you give it a shot? Why don't you give it a shot? Why don't you start today living like you got a 90-day sentence and that's it, man. June 8th, everything ends. Wow, would things be different? What would you do differently? What vacation would you take? What business would you start? What message would you put out there, you know, on your social media platforms? Would you even be on social media? Maybe that's a time vampire to you. You would do so many things differently, yet most people won't do that. They're so caught up in that mental prison that they live in. They won't allow themselves to go on a furlough. They won't allow themselves to go on parole. You know, they're like, please get me out of this prison, but they don't want to get out. It's too comfortable. You know, prison's comfortable. You get 3 meals a day. You get a roof over your head. It's nice. The problem is you can never get out. So what do you want to do? You want to be called a good employee? You want to be called lived an average life? Do you want to say you played it safe? Or do you want to say I went for my purpose-driven life and I had faith? I had a lot of faith that it was going to work out. I think the latter would work out pretty well for you. And if I can help you do that, and do it faster and do it smarter so you don't make a lot of mistakes, go to launchwithsam.com and let's talk and let's get a plan together. Not just a plan. It's kind of weak anyway. An execution to get your launch date, your parole date, to get you out of this mental prison and to get you moving forward. Pretty confident. I've got a knack for that. I'm pretty confident we can make it happen. So if that sounds like something that you'd like to do, go to launchwithsam.com. Make it happen. Let me see. That's what I did. Rocio I. Martinez. That's what I did. And my life changed forever. My family thought I went crazy. I love it. Man, I love that. Thank you for making that comment. And if I butchered your name, Rocio, I apologize. Hopefully I was at least 50% of the right on the name. That's awesome. Your family is going to think you're crazy. Of course. Look, if your family doesn't think you're crazy, then you're not even trying. You know, if your friends don't look at you like you blew a dog whistle in their ear, like, what? Like, what are you doing? If you don't try, if you don't get those kind of looks, you're not even trying. You're playing it safe. If you're in a room with 100 people, 99 of them should be on the other side of the room with everybody else thinking a certain way. You need to be off by yourself thinking your way. It's not the wrong way. It's your way. Your way's never wrong. And because you're not out there to hurt people, intentionally sabotage anybody else's success. It's your way. It's your message. We've all been, you know, I grew up, come to Botswana. I would love to come to Botswana. Is that near Illinois? I'm joking. I wouldn't even know. I don't even think I could pick Botswana off a map. Question is, how many people could we get to Botswana? That's the question. How many people would go to Botswana for a live event if I spoke there? That would be pretty wild, man. First, I'd have to find it, and then I'd have to get there. I never rule anything out. But if you are on the same side as everybody else, you got to find new friends, man. That's just, if everybody is agreeing with you, you got to find better friends, because not everybody should be agreeing with you. You're not thinking big enough. You know, you're just not. If everybody thinks that you're normal, you got to do something different, man. And if your family is agreeing with everything you're doing, you're not playing big enough. You just aren't. I can tell you right now, because it never works out that way. whenever you launch an idea, whenever you launch a movement, everybody should think you're crazy. You know, the only people who don't think you're crazy, people in groups like this. But you got to be in a mastermind group. You got to be in groups of people who think big, and they empower you and encourage you to go after your dream, because they're playing big as well. You can't fit a big dream into a small group of people. It's not going to happen. You're going to be dragged down. One of two things are going to happen. If you're in a group with 20 people and 19 of them are thinking average, and then there's you, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to drag you down to their level. It's just the way it's going to work. It's a numbers game, guys. I mean, it's just, I'm not saying anything that you don't already know. You're not going to pull 19 people up with you, okay? So what do? You leave that group and you go find a group where you have to actually play so big just to keep up. I'm not saying they're smarter than you. I'm just saying they're playing big. Look, I got 20 college credits. Most of them are gym and health class, all right? I ain't that smart, but I'll be damned if I'm going to be a group of people that are going to bring me down. It's never going to, I would never allow that to happen. That's why I quit my job. It's just never going to happen. Okay. I've been listening to you for more than 5 years. You changed my life. Thank you. Thank you, man. That is so awesome. So awesome to hear. Rocio, so what's your tip to overcome the negativity? Just stay plugged in. Facebook Lives like this, podcasts. I bomb, but whenever I'm in my car, I'm either listening to, and this is just me, but I listen to Christian radio all the time, or I listen to podcasts, and podcasts around personal development. I listen to sermons. Stephen Furtick from Elevation Church, I listen to him all the time. I listen to marketing podcasts, Frank Kern, Mike Dillard's podcast, Amy Porterfield's podcast, Super Soul Sunday, Oprah. I love Oprah's. Oprah's such a great interviewer. She really gets people to open up. I love Oprah's interviewing style, and I love her story. I love where she came from. So I listen to that. That's how I overcome negativity. And look, we all got family and friends that are negative. I get it. All right. And I'm not saying to make enemies with family and friends. That's not the point. The point is you don't share your dream with people who don't support it. Because why would you ever try to talk somebody who didn't believe in you? Why would you ever try to talk them into believing in your dream? Again, two things. They've been at this a lot longer than you guys. They've been at this negativity a lot longer than you've been at your dream, and they got experience, and they're going to beat you with that experience. I know. All right. I've tried to get people to believe in the Everyday Saturday Mission who was like negative their whole life. And I'm like, what in the hell am I doing? I might as well go bang my head against that brick wall behind me, you know? Instead, I discovered mastermind groups, live events. If I'm not speaking at them, I'll attend a live event. I immerse myself in personal development. I listen to inspirational stuff all the time. And I'm constantly brushing my brain. You know, it's funny. We brush our teeth every day, sometimes twice a day, but we don't think brushing our brain is important. Like getting that negative, toxic stuff off our mind and focusing forward. I would highly encourage you to do that. That's how you overcome negativity, because negativity is simply a mindset. It doesn't make it true. You know, just because somebody says something negative doesn't make it true. Someone say, hey, Sam, you suck. Okay. I've heard that a lot of times. Sam, you suck. You're a phony, you're a fake. All right, cool. Well, I mean, just words. Look, words have no meaning unless you give them meaning. Okay, right now it's raining outside. Ohio weather is crazy in March. It's either raining, snowing, or 70 degrees. Pick one, you know. It's raining outside. Now, for somebody trying to get to the job, it's raining outside. That's bad. Oh my God, it's raining outside. Oh, this sucks. Oh, I can't believe it's raining. For a farmer out in Iowa who lives on the weather, they need rain. They've had a drought for a month. They're like, oh, thank you, God, it's raining outside. This is thank you, God. Same phrase, two different meanings, because two different people looked at it completely differently. You know, what do you see here? This is what do you see? You see a camera, right? I see a screen don't you see a screen with 4 girls on it? Really? Why can't you see this? Oh, because you're looking at the same thing, but differently, right? You're looking at this side of it. I'm looking at this side of it. That's 4 girls. My daughter's right there. You can look at a situation completely differently. You're looking at one side. I'm looking at the other side. The side you decide to look on, the positive one, the inspirational one, the motivational one, is what's going to bring you through all that negative crap. And if people speak negatively to you, then you got to overcome that. First of all, I tell you to run as far away from them as possible. And I'm not saying you got to get out of your family or send letters to people saying, I'm no longer your friend. just be there when you need to be there, but don't share your dream with them, because I'm telling you, they've been at that negative thing way longer than you have, and you're not going to win. You're just not going to win. Get into mastermind groups, Facebook groups, live events, podcasts, all that stuff, YouTube videos. Every one of these videos you see right here, you're going to find on my YouTube channel as well. So if you missed the replay on Facebook, you can check out my YouTube channel. And I'm saying just follow my lead. I'm nobody special. I've just happened to create this lifestyle because I really, really wanted it. I wanted it more than life itself. I wanted it more than I wanted my next breath. I wanted to create a lifestyle where I didn't have to go to a job. That was my dream. What's your dream? And when you start focusing on what that dream is, it starts to become a reality. I'm not saying overnight. None of this stuff happens overnight. But that 90 days to live thing, you've been diagnosed with 90 days to live. If you took that mentality to it, watch out. Let me ask you a question. If you were given 90 days to live, would you go try to find as many people as you could and convince them that you're a good person or that your dream is good? And, where would you spend time? You would spend time where you're going to get the biggest return on that shortest period of time, right? Why aren't you doing that right now? Because you think you have time. Like I'm on the phone with people, and I don't try to sell people to come on board and work together. It's got to be them. It can't be me. I can't beat the fish into the boat. They're never going to be successful. If I have to convince you that you've got a dream, if I've got to convince you that you're good enough to get going, you're never going to be successful. You got to convince me that we need to work together, because that's coming from you, from inside. There's no way. That would be the worst thing in the world. So I think, wrap it up right now, because I got to get ready. We got a Momentum Club, part of what I teach inside the Momentum Club. Every other week, we got a Facebook Live we do. For all our Momentum Club members, which when you're a private coaching client, you get access to our Momentum Club. It's a high-level mastermind for all my private coaching clients. If you're interested in working together, go to launchwithsam.com. Couple of criteria, though. You got to have passion, you got to have energy, and you got to have at least some sort of purpose that you want to move forward, okay? I can't be selling you on launching your dream. When that happens and you come to the call with that, your success the probability is a hell of a lot higher, and we're going to have a lot of fun working together. So if you like to have fun and you like to make money and you like to have a purpose-driven life, go to launchwithsam.com. All right? And guys, if you have any more questions, post them in the comments here. It's awesome. Give a bunch of hearts, give some shout outs, give some love inside the Everyday Saturday page, help other people find the page as well. Any comments, leave them in the replay, and I'm happy to answer them. All right. And also make sure you're plugged into the podcast on iTunes. New one just went live every single day of the week. All right. And take care, guys. Have a great rest of your day.